Hello and welcome to my channel and welcome to my thoughts on Once Upon a Time Season 1 as a whole. And spoilers. Okay, this is the fourth attempt at doing this video because I've either got a lot to say, more than 15 minutes worth, which is all the time I've got, or my thoughts are so jumbled that I don't know where to start, especially since so much happened. And I can't believe my own naivety in episodes 1, 2 and 3, how little I knew. Oh, how I laugh at my naivety. But there's still so much to learn about the characters, about the plot, and the way we left season 1 just rewrites all the rules. It's rewritten the premise of the program for me, because for me the whole idea of the program was revealing the truth behind the Dark Curse and breaking it, which is what I thought was going to happen throughout the whole 5 seasons, and it's broken already, which means that season 2 is going to go in a totally different direction. Now, I've really enjoyed season 1. And I just hope it doesn't lose its momentum in season 2, as has happened with so many programs that I love. Mind you, enough programs that I love have also got stronger and stronger with every season, so maybe I'm just thinking negatively. Before going any further, I feel the need to make a public apology. In my reaction to An Apple Red as Blood, episode 21, it was edited in such a way that it made my comments seem like I was implying that Henry is not Regina's true son because he is adopted. That wasn't my intention to imply that. I edited out a scene earlier in which Jefferson states, if we can get this to work, i.e. the magic hat, we both get our children back.
We both want our children back, and we both can get them if we work together.
Why should I trust you now?
Her children?
But it's the only offer you've got. After we're through, I'll wake up your dear Grace so she remembers who you are.
No.
Now, I knew that he wanted to get Paige back, but at that point I didn't really equate Henry as having gone anywhere, and in my head I thought that he was talking about some child that Regina had had in the Enchanted Forest that somehow she'd become separated from in between that and the Dark Curse enactment. And it wasn't until the scene that you saw that I suddenly twigged that they were talking about Henry. Top 5 episodes for the season. This may change in time, I don't know, but as things stand, skin deep, because it was deeply emotional. It was quite unexpected because I wasn't expecting Beauty and the Beast at all, actually. I was completely forgotten its existence. So that was really nice. And we learned a lot about Rumpelstiltskin, and we learned a lot about the human side of him, as we did in Desperate Souls, which, yeah, I'd have to put a close fourth, because we learn where he got his power from, and that was a very dramatic episode. At number 3, I would say Red Handed, because werewolves. I love werewolves, and we'd waited so long for the Red Riding Hood story. It had already been implied in the very first episode that she was Red Riding Hood, but we had to wait till episode 15 before we found that out, and before we got her story, so that was fantastic. Dreamy, I really enjoyed, because it was a really fun episode. There was nothing heavy or heavily dramatic about the episode. It did have its points that it made me think that the Blue Fairy isn't quite as benevolent as we all first thought, because her interference in that was unnecessary and unwarranted. But it was a good episode, it was a fun episode, and it was a deeply emotional episode. Where did we get to? Number two, Stable Boy. It was really good to see the Queen's backstory and get that humanity. It changed my opinion of her. Okay, my opinion of her changed very slowly between episode 18 and episode 22, but it did change, and that was the linchpin that made me start to see Regina as human, as vulnerable, as desperate as everybody else. And also it was the episode where we saw just how little control she really had. At number one, I'd be really remiss if I didn't say Land Without Magic, because the finale was just absolutely awesome, and it had a dragon in it. You can't beat that. I don't think you can beat a dragon. But that's not to say all the other episodes were absolutely fantastic. I liked True North. Was that Hansel and Gretel story? I thought it was brilliant. And so many other stories. I mean, we got so much, and yet there's so much left to explore. So my top 5 favourite characters shouldn't surprise anybody. Henry, because, well, he's just a really sweet kid, and is brilliantly portrayed and brilliantly acted by Jared S. Gilmore. Number 4, I suppose, would be Emma. I find her a little bit annoying in places. I know she's supposed to be the heroine, but some of the things she does are morally dubious and some points illegal. So, but there's black and white in all of us. So, number 3. Number 3 is difficult, because obviously number 2 has got to be Rumpelstiltskin, Mr. Gold, and number 1 has to be Regina, the Evil Queen, because those two characters just play off so well together, and they're the along with Henry, I think they're the glue that holds this series together, or at least has held series 1 together. Emma has been largely superfluous. I think her being in the town has affected, but in as far as plots go, she didn't necessarily need to be in a lot of those scenes. But Regina and Rumpelstiltskin really held it together, both in the Enchanted Forest scenes and in the storybook scenes. So number 3, I suppose, would leave Snow White, but to be quite honest, I find Mary Margaret a little bit annoying. And, well, Snow White is Mary Margaret, so can I choose Snow White as number 3 but not Mary Margaret? Mary Margaret would be about 8. I also love Archie. I know we haven't seen much of him, but he's brilliant. Okay, top 5 moments, and these really are moments. Number 5 would be the moment that Belle walks into Mr. Gold's shop and he sees her. Just that look. Number 4 would be, again, a look, brilliantly portrayed by Lana Pereira, when she realises that Snow White has betrayed her secret. I think that was in The Stable Boy, and you see her face just calm, blank, emotionless, just the emotion just drains from her. It's just a great scene. Number 3 would have to be the scene with Prince James fighting the siren in Whatever Happened to Frederick. What happened to Frederick? The siren was just an unexpected treat, because it's from Greek myth, and I wasn't expecting Greek myth to come in. But I suppose the siren does feature in other myths as well. I just more associate the siren with the Greek mythology rather than the sort of Germanic mythology that we're getting. Number 2 would be the realisation that Sidney Glass, the magic mirror, was once Aladdin's genie. I don't know why, that just really took me by surprise, and it made me happy in a little way because I knew we was going to get a little bit of the Arabian Nights mixed in. And again, I'm not entirely sure what to make for number 1. It would have to be between the nightmare scene at the beginning of An Apple Red as Blood, or the conversation that Archie, Henry and Emma have in the very, very first episode when she first arrives in Storybrooke. Because, I don't know, I just have fond memories of that, because I was sort of in the same position as Emma. I wasn't really sure what was going on in the series. I wasn't really sure whether Henry's stories were not just, we wasn't just watching a story or a sorry, I wasn't sure at that point whether we wasn't watching a story or a series about a boy that has delusions, and that the once upon a time elements, the enchanted forest scenes that we were seeing, weren't just in his head. I didn't know anything about the series when I started, so I had no preconceptions. Well, I'm going to make some predictions for season 2 now. Bearing in mind I have just watched episode 1, so I'm going to try and put that out of my mind before I make these. But I would like to see more worlds explored, because we've seen a little bit of Wonderland, and we've seen that the magic hat can sort of open portals into other times as well as other worlds, and I'm wondering if we're going to see other classic children's universes like Oz from The Wizard of Oz, or Lilliput from Gulliver's Travels, or Neverland from Peter Pan. They're the only ones I can think of just off the top of my head, but could we possibly see that? I know we're going to see Peter Pan at some point, and I do know, because Archie's dog is called Pongo, that we're going to get the 101 Dalmatians at some point, but I'm wondering what other stories we're going to get. Let's see now. Yeah, I know we've had Sleeping Beauty because that's in episode 1 of season 2, but are we going to get, say, Swan Lake, or any of those classic Russian folk stories, or maybe some of the Arabian Nights again? I would really like to see that. Are we going to see Maleficent again? Because although she was slain as the dragon, we don't know, did Emma kill the dragon? And can we see Maleficent in the past, maybe? Because there's a whole area before Regina became queen that Maleficent ruled that we haven't explored yet. I'm running out of time. And in the Snow White storyline, I do not know what happened between her marriage to King Leopold when Snow White was 10 and she found out about the betrayal, and the point where she kills King Leopold and Snow White goes on the run. There seems to be about 8 or 9 years missing there, and I'm wondering what happened in that marriage that was forced upon her, turned her into the evil queen that we know now, because she still wasn't that evil queen, even in The Stable Boy. Even in An Apple Red as Blood, when we saw her in the past, she wasn't that evil queen. Anyway, I've run out of time, so thanks for watching and catch you later. Bye bye.